Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Now we've got it looks like a fun puzzle here. This is the rabbit of Caerbannog, which I would take to be a reference towards a Monty Python skit or a movie, I would say. But correct me if I'm wrong. There may be other references there. But let's get into the rules and our lovely image of a rabbit over here. Looks like he's got crazy eyes. So normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, every 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. Adjacent digits along a green line, which are German whispers, must have a difference of at least 5. So if this digit was a 3, let's say. These two that are adjacent to it would have to be either 8 or 9. So there just has to be a difference of 5. Now digits separated by a white dot right here have a difference of 1. Just means that these two digits are consecutive. This is a 4. This could be a 3 or a 5. I know there's a 4 there. Don't worry about that. Just examples. And then the black Kropki dot digits separated by a black dot are in a 1:2 ratio. Not all dots are given. So that means whatever this digit is here, this one right here must be either half or double of that one. And the not all dots are given means there is no negative constraint. So you could still have this be a 2, and with the 4, it wouldn't require you to have the black dot between them. Same goes for the white dots. So those are the rules. Let's get into this crazy looking rabbit puzzle and see where it goes. So what's the best place to start? Well, there's a ton of German whisper lines. And as we should all know by this point, there's only a couple of, there's 3 main items that you'll find with German whispers in terms of how we can reduce possibilities of digits. The first one and the most obvious one is that you can never put a 5 on it. Because if you put a 5 on here, you'd have to have 0 or 10. So let's look at that first, see if we can find anything. So we've got all of these which cannot have a 5. I'm going to be a little bit deliberate in marking all of these, so we see in this middle box, we got a 5 in one of these two places, excuse me. Now, one of the wonders of a black Kropki dot is a 5 can never go on a black Kropki dot. And that's because you'd either have to have a 2.5 or a 10. To do the 1:2 ratio, so that doesn't ever work. So now we know this is a 5, so none of these are a 5, and then none of these would be a 5. Is that going to give us much more, or is that kind of where it wants to end? Let's see if there's anything. Don't really see anything in terms of like an X-wing that we could deduce more, but we know we have a 5 now, and this is either going to be a 4 or a 6. Now, I don't think we can do a whole lot with this Kropki dot just yet. There are some limitations. Like we said, you can never have 5. You can never have 7 or a 9 either on a Kropki dot. But let's look a little bit further. We know... Let's look at some of the other issues with German whispers. So the first thing we said, you can never have a 5. Well, the second thing that usually comes up is that along a German whisper, you are always going to change polarity. Is it polarity or parity? I can never remember. Shoot, I've already forgotten on this one. You can't. You're always going to go up and down in terms of where it is in relation to a 5. So if you start here on a high digit, this is going to go down low. This is going to come back up high, low, high, low, high. You can keep going across the board with it. And that might be where we need to start coloring these guys in. To see where we might have a number of either high or low digits in a row. That would tell us, where something else can't go. It's probably the best way to put it. I'm going to hold on that for just a second to just look at a couple of other little things. Like, where can a 4 or a 6 go on a German whispers? And those are usually... not difficult necessarily to place on a German whisper, but they definitely have restrictions because the only digit that can go with a 4 would be a 9, So if you put a 4 anywhere on a German whisper, either both sides of that, or if you're at an end next to it, has to be a 9. There's no other possibility. 6 is the same way, but with 1. So if you put a 6 on a German whisper, every side of it, whatever it may be, must be a 1. There's no other possible option. So what does that tell us about this middle area? Well, the 4 is already off of it, so that doesn't help us. That's a given. But the 6 is not on this yet, and that is going to give us something. It's going to give us some direction. Now, we can't put a 6 here, because we'd have to put a 1 in both of these. Can't put a 6 here, same thing. Here, here, here. We can't put a 6 here either, because both of these would have to be 1s, as well as both of those. We know these are not 6s, so the only place a 6 can go is here. And because that's a black Kropki, we must pair it with a 3, and that 6 is going to give us this 4. Now that we know that, can we go any further with our 4s, let's say? And it doesn't quite look like it. I thought we might get some down here. But this one could still be a 4, because these could both be 9 and not fail standard Sudoku rules. 6s, we might be able to continue to look at them, because we're ruling out a bunch of these now. Like, that can't be a 6. We know none of these can be a 6, obviously, because we're in here. That can't be a 6. This one could be. This one can't be. This one could be. This one can't be. This could. This can't. This could. This can't. So we're not going to get a ton, I think, that are getting removed from 6hood. Except kind of up here a little bit, because none of these middle type of digits on these lines can ever be a 6, because then you're still in the cage. That doesn't look like it's going to be very helpful, though, at the end of the day here. Because I don't see... It's not enough just yet. So what are... Maybe let's look at this digit, because it seems to be somewhat... not determined, but somewhat limited in terms of what it can be. Now, we know it can't be 4, 5, or 6, or 3, because we've got all those already in that row. Now, can it be a low digit, like 1 or 2? And it looks like it certainly could, because if this is a 2, these digits could be from 7, 8, and 9. There's multiple ways to go about it. Same here, 7, 8, or 9. 2 does the same thing. 7, 8, or 1 and 2 both do the same thing. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. 7, 8, or 9. The other options then are to go high, which is 7, 8, and 9. Now, if this is a 7, it still works, which is not the greatest, but it works, because you can put 1 and 2 in both of these. And then we're still good to go. Same with here. You can put 1 and 2 in those. So, where would we find the next best place to go? I was thinking of looking at 3s, because you end up, if you put a 3 in here, it has to be flanked by both 8 and 9. There's no way around it. So you've just committed now both of these digits to being high, and then this would have to be the last digit. And then these would have to be in the 1 to 2, but that works perfectly fine with all that. So that doesn't do much either. Okay. All right, Mr. Rabbit, where am I supposed to be looking at on you? I really just need, let's go to our coloring idea that we had earlier. I said I would come back to it, and it seems like that might be a good place to go now, because all of these lines are connected. So we're going to have whatever this digit is, let's just give it a color. Let's say it's purple. Now every other digit along this line is going to have to be purple. Just make sure I don't miss any. One, that one, that one, that one. So these are all the same value, or the same high or low. Now, all of the other ones are going to be the exact opposite. They are either the low or the high, whichever one the other version wasn't. Let's put those in as, let's say it's yellow. Now, the question is there anywhere along this line, or any of these rows or columns, doesn't necessarily have to be that one specifically, where we run into some issues? Let's look at these 4 digits. These are either high or low. We don't necessarily know which way yet, and this might have been probably an easier way to get started into this one. But can these be low digits, all of these? Because they are the same. Whether they're high or low, they are the same. Well, if they're all low, they're 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got a 4 sitting right here. So there's no way that those can be low. These have to be high. So purple has to be high, which then we can now remove our 1 and 2 from. And we've got a place to start. Now, can this be 7? And the answer is going to be no, as we look closer into it, because it has to pair up with 3 different digits that can all be 5 digits less than 7. Well, there's only 2 that work. 1 and 2. So what would this one be? It would have to be a 0 or some digit between, 3.5 or 2.5 and 0, which clearly doesn't work. So this can't be 7. So now we're down to either 8 or 9. Now, if this is 8, that forces this to be 1, 2, and 3. Although that doesn't do a whole lot at the moment. Now we know these are low, so they have to be 1 and 2. These guys out here from 7, 8, and 9, they are high digits. We'll continue to color these in because it may help us further along. So let's look at this. Well, we know these are high digits. We don't have to go into that because we've already proved it, but I could have proved the exact same thing I proved this way by going this way. There's 4 of these, so these clearly cannot be low digits. The same would have been determined if we use this 3 looking down here. So there are multiple ways you could have gotten to this step. Now that we know which ones are high and which ones are low, maybe there's a place where we can look for 4s and 6s again and have a better understanding of where they could go. So 6 can't go in any of these, clearly. It can't be low. It could go here or any of these, which is kind of inconvenient. Can't be any of the low digits. Let's just mark those off right now, just so I have them. Now it can't be this one, because I would have to have 3 different digits around it, which we kind of know now what this one is. Not that we know what it is, but we have a better idea of what this specific cell has to be. But we're going to continue on where I was going for a second first. Where can 6 go up in here? It can't go in any of those. I think we pretty much already knew. It can't go here, because it would have to have 1s on both of these. Same as for here, 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 and it can't be any of the lows. We almost had something I could work with there in terms of an X-wing, but not quite. So one of these 4 has to be a 6 in here. 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the options. One of these 4 has to be. This one can't be. These blank ones can't be. Is there another set of quad 6s? Or quad highs, I'd say, where we could rule out a 6. This one here, but The 6 could go in any of these. Same with this one. 6 could go in any of those. The 6 might not be getting me where I want to go just yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing anywhere else I can rule out 6s. So hopefully I took that as far as I could at the moment. Let's switch to 4s, I guess. Where can a 4 start going on a lot of these places? Well, they can't be high, clearly. They can't go in the middle anywhere. These can't be. These can't be. Do we have any sets of 4? Wait, have I reduced all of these? I think I have. So we're going to get... No, something wasn't right there. I must have marked something wrong. Let me look at this one real quick. This can't be 4. This can't be 4. This can't be. These can't be. This can't be. This can't be. And this can't be. So yeah, I actually touched one here, but this is a 4. It's the only place a 4 can go actually on this line, which is interesting. Now I said none of those could be 4, so one of these is a 4. Now if this was a 4, it'd force double 9s here. Now is there anywhere else a 4 could go? Because I wasn't really expecting to find that one right there. None of these, none of those. This one couldn't be a 4, so one of these is a 4, which rules out these as being a 4. We know one of those and one of those is a 4. Yeah, I don't... That was a nice little one to get, but it doesn't look like it goes too much further. In terms of 4s. So, what are we looking at? We ruled out these being 4. Okay, that does give us something there. Sorry, I didn't see that quite, but it was as a piece of logic I looked at earlier. And once I got some information about it, we can follow up on it. Now I said, well, it actually doesn't help me, does it? I wish it did. I wish we had a 4 on here. That's actually the reverse. It's not doing me the good that I hoped it would do me. Because we knew these had to be 3 separate ways of doing it. Now there can't be a 4 on it, but that doesn't rule out the 8 or the 9. If it had to have a 4 on it, it would have ruled out the 8, and then I could have made some assertions, but I cannot. Now, these have... Well, I never marked this one as yellow. I wonder if that was annoying any of you. These have to be for 1, 2, and 3. There has to be a 7 down here somewhere. So no matter what one of these is a 7, this one's going to have to be low enough to satisfy a 7, so it's either a 1 or a 2. Now, I can tell you there needs to be a 3 over here somewhere, but I don't know where exactly. Because there can't be a 3 here, none of these could be 3, and we ruled this out as being a 3. Okay, this one's being a little bit trickier. And I thought it might be first blush. Either of those could still be 4. Yeah, that's not very... It's not giving me anything here. These are 7, 8, or 9. Because we already have the 6. Is there something I missed with the 6s, maybe? Because it feels like we should be able to find something. That can't be 6. These can be 6. This can't be. That one can't be. That one can't be. None of these can be. Wait, no, don't press that one out yet. That can't be. No. No, no. I'm not seeing it. Well, I mean, with these 4s, we do know these are 1, 2, 3, but that doesn't do anything for us again. Because we can't. We have so many options. Well, we've got 2. Does that do anything? We have 2 digits here that have to be 5 higher than whatever this is. But that doesn't rule out a 3 because we can still put 8 and 9 here. Maybe I need to continue with my coloring because there's a couple things I can. We know there's no 4 or no. We know all the small digits are already taken care of here. And we've got 3 of the large digits. That means one of these has to be a 5. Is that doing anything for me? I don't see anything really there. This has to be low. Okay, here we go. There's something now that I see it, and I'd mark this in. There's only one place left on this column that could ever be a 5, so it's got to be that one. Now we know there's no 5 here, so none of these can be 5, so this is 5. So maybe this is what I needed to do. None of these are 5s. None of these are 5s. None of those, so one of these has to be a 5, so that's not a 5, which means this is a 5, which forces the 5 up here, which means these are both 5. One of these is 5. No 5s in any of these. We know that there's 5, so I'm going to mark some of this stuff in because it's going to help me see a little bit better. None of these can be 5. Yeah, so that doesn't. There's not a whole lot more I can do there, I don't think. We got a few 5s. Suffice to say, but it doesn't. 5s don't help too much because they can't be on a German whisper, so they can't start forcing other digits on or off of them. Now, can we do anything with our, like this digit? I looked at before. This digit has to be, did we say this one had to be 8 or 9? Because it can't be 7 because it had to be 1, 2, and then something else below 7. So this has to be 2 or 3. No, sorry, wrong one. Yeah, it has to be 8 or 9. This is a 1, 2, or a 3. We know that one we know where the 5 is on this row, and we've only got one space left over where we have to have another low digit. So that is low, which means this is high, which means it's not a 4. Okay, so we can get our 4 over here now. One of these has to be a 4. And let me put my phone on silent, because I'm sure it'll start going off here sometime. That 4 right here is an excellent thing to have, because it now does tell me that these have to be 9, and now we can probably start getting into this puzzle a little bit better. This has to be a 1, 2 pair. We know there's a 4 down here in this column, so this has to be a 3. That now forces these to be 8 and 9. There's a 9 here, so we got 8 and 9. That 8's going to give us a 7. We need 6 and 8 down here. We don't have those to work with just yet. This is not 7. Okay. All right, we've got a little movement now. So this has to be from 1 or 2. This is going to have to be, it can't be 6, so it has to be 7. Oops, wrong area. And it has to be, can't be 6 because you can't put 2 1s here. So that forces the 6 off. And this has to be from 1 or 2. We don't have anything looking at it just yet. Now these 3 digits are pseudo given. They're, well, no, because I still got that 1, 2 up there, so I don't want to go into that one, I don't think. We know there's a 3 down here. I will put that in. I just don't know what the other one is. Could be 1 or 2. Now, these two we said are 6 and 8. If this was 6, it would obviously force both of these to be 1s, which would be nice. We don't have that just yet. We knew one of those had to be 7, so let's keep looking around the grid here and figure out where we are. This one is either 1 or 2. I guess I should keep marking these with colors just so I don't miss anything. This has to be a 4 with either a 6 or an 8, so I can't do a ton there either. We've got this 1-2 pair, like we said. These have to be high from 6, 7, or 8. It doesn't really do anything either, because I can't rule out a 6 for any of those just yet. All right, let's continue grinding forward. Our 5 is done here, so this... We know one of these is low and one of these is high, again. We know one of these is low and one of these is high. We've got one of these is low and one of them is high. All of the lows are given here, so this has to be high. 8, 9 is seeing that one, so this is 6 or 7. We've got a 5 in one of these two. The other one is a high digit to go with the 6 and the 7. And it can't be here because we've got a 6 and a 7 pointing at it. So the other 6, 7 has to be down here. Let's mark those and put them in and then dip our 5 into that little spot. No, I didn't want to delete both of those. There we go. So we've got a low and a high up here as well. The high has to be either 8 or 9. So if we know the 6s and 7s are in this row somewhere, which forces this to be an 8 or a 9, which gives us an 8-9 pair. Which means this just has to be from... Wait, I colored that one wrong. Why did I do that? Go away. It shouldn't have affected anything. It wasn't anything I looked at before. I just hit the wrong button. So we need to have another low here. The only place it could be is here. So it has to be. That now finishes our low. So this has to be high, which means it's not a 3. These have to be from 6, 7, and 8. It's not great. One of these is a 7. Now, does that do anything for us? If it's a 7, 1s and 2s have to be on both sides of it, at least for this one. This one, it could double up and be both 1s or both 2s. Okay. We know there has to be a 3 somewhere in here. Is there anything that can rule out that? I don't see it right now. Okay, let's keep looking at our colors. We know one of these is a 5. This feels like it's going a little bit slow trying to manufacture some little bits of information here and there, but keep persevering. We will get there. These have to be fairly low. Can this... It could be the 3 still, because you could still have 8 and 9 up here. So one of these is 8 and 9. This one is 8 and 9. This has to be from 6 and 7. No 9s in here. There's still one digit missing. These are all the highs. So we know these are all low, except for 1 and 5. So let's look at that. One of these has to be 5, and the rest of them all have to be low. Now that creates a little problem here in this box number 8, or at least it reduces a possibility. Could all 3 of these be low and 5 just be one of these? And the answer is no, because we already have 2 other low digits here. So we went all low. That would force us to have 5 different low digits, which there are not one of. So what that tells us, though, is there has to be a 5 in one of these 3. And the only place the 5 can go is there. So let's get rid of these as 5s. And that's clearly not a 5. So we know these are all low digits. That's the high. So we've got all our lows. These all have to be large. We're going to have, we've got everything there. What does this one have to be now? I think this has to be something, doesn't it? Because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lows. So yeah, this can no longer be low. So it can't be the 4. This is going to have to be our 4. This is going to have to be large. And it's either 8 or 9. Let's color this one in. Keep going with the flow. So this column, and this column are all done in terms of high, lows, and 5s. So is this and this. So we've only got 4 columns left and needs differentiating. We know one of these is low and a 5. But we already know that one of these is low and large. Low and large, that's one way to determine them, or to say them. Low or high would be what most normal human beings would say. Up here, now I'm not seeing another section gonna tell me what's what just yet. Well, let's look in this area here. We've got this low digit, which we know has to be either 1 or 2, because it's paired with a 6 or a 7 somewhere. So it's going to give us a 1 and a 2 this way and a 1 and a 2 this way, although we could have just looked here and seen that that had to be it. Now we know we've got a 1-2 pair. That doesn't really do anything. This digit has to be something between 8 and 9. There are no 4s up here, though, so that doesn't... They're from 1, 2, and 3. I don't think I can rule out the 6 or 7 over here. So I'm not going to do that one just yet. All right, come on, let's find this next thing. These 2 digits, one of them has to be a 3. Does that help us? Well, if I knew this was a 3, it would definitely start rolling along the red carpet and we could start doing some stuff because it would force 8, 6 and kind of run down the line. But if this was a 3, it would force both of these to be 7s because neither of these could be. But once again, that doesn't seem to do anything. Six, we don't really, well, yeah, because 6 could still go in here. We know it can't go there, so it's either one of these 2 is a 6. Oh, wait, this one can never be a 6, and it can never be an 8 or a 9. This has to be the 7. Okay. I just saw that. Thankfully. Can't be 6, you can't put 2 1s on either side of it, and we've got the 8-9 pair already set up. So this has to be 7, which means this can never be 3, which means this has to be 3. This has to be the other 1, 2. We could have looked, well, we couldn't have, we just got that one. But yeah, now we have that 1, 2 pair. This has to be from 6, 8, or 9. So we've got a 6 somewhere along here, but there's no good differentiation to be done to find it as of the moment. Come on. It's coming in dribs and drabs, I should say. This has to be either 6 or 8. One of these is going to have to be a 6. Which means one of these is going to have to be a 1. So we have a 1-3 pair. No, not 4, which is going to give us a 2. It's going to remove a couple of 2s, and it's going to give us a 1. Which will get rid of this one. It'll give me a 2. Give me a 1. Give me a 2. Give me a 1. Give me a 2. Let's get rid of these ones. This 2 gives me 1 and 2. It's starting to open a little bit now, which is nice. Are there any more 1s and 2s I could get into here? Well, there's no 1 in any of those, and these obviously can't be 1, so this is 1. 1s are out of all of these, so it's either one of these two is a 1. We know that these are from 1, 3, and 5. This can't be the 5. We know this isn't a 1. So let's just get that in there for now. Okay, we've got a 2 here, so let's start looking back at what we have and what we know. So these can never have a 6 on them, so this is now our 6. Here we go. This is 8. This is 9. This is 6. This is 8 and 9 and 8. So a lot of prep that I've already done that's now going to start unwinding all of this stuff. Or at least to an extent. And yeah, still going. Okay. Now, this 6 is showing us our 1 and our 3. 3 is giving us our 9 and our 7. That 1 gets rid of a 1 here. 1, 3. That 3 can't be there. What else is working? This 2 is giving me a 7. So I've just got to start finding where I have everything already figured out. 6, 7, and 9. This is not 9, so that is a 6, 7 pair, and that is the 9. This is a 6, 7 pair, plus we have an 8 here, so we get ourselves a 9 here. So I think I'm kind of getting into the end here of Sudokus, so I'm going to run to it at the moment. I'm going to do a quick peek. This one, let's do that. 2, 3 here, this has to be 7. 6, 7, 8, 7. Okay, we're starting to finish that. 1, 2, and 3, this has to be from 4 and 6. There's a 6 here, so 4 and 6. And I'm going to continue to put in our coloring when I have new digits that weren't already determined, just to finish things off nicely. So down here, we have a given 8, it appears. This would then have to be a 6. This is either a 2 or a 3. There has to be a 4 in one of these, which is almost interesting. Let's look around. This 7 here gives us our 1, which gives us our 2 and our 3. That 3 gives us our 2. That 1 gives us our 3. We know these are 1 and 4. Let's get rid of the extraneous typing. 3 gives me 1. We got a 3, 5 here. That 1 comes back and gives us a 4 and a 1. This here has to be a 2. It's the only low digit left. These have to be from 6 and 8. We've got a 6 there. So that's 6. That's 8. 2 here gives us our 3 and our 2. We get our wonderful musical corner. This is a high digit, and it must be a 9. What are these two digits? They are 3 and 7. We have a 7 here, so let's go 3 and 7. It's color, just for the fun of it. That 3 gives us our 5 and our 3. Continue our coloring. That 5 gives us our 5. This is now, what is it? It's a 4. Just going to give us our 4 here. Let's color these quick before we get to the end. This is no longer a 4, and it is a high digit, and therefore a 6. And there we go. So that one probably took me a little longer than it should have, but it was fun nonetheless. Nonetheless, I think I said. Cool. But the old rabbit of Caerbannog, I kind of lost the rabbit once I got coloring in because it kind of hides some of this, the look of it, but good puzzle. It took me, like I said, it took me a second to get moving, but once I did, it worked out quite well. It was finding the one spot here or there where you could start making the determinations. And when you have a ton of different lines, you know, going all over the place, sometimes it could be a little bit tricky to figure out where you need to start, but we were able to do it. So that's what really matters, and we enjoyed doing it, and that's even more important. So hope you all enjoyed that one. Said we'll be back with another one very shortly. Tomorrow even. When you're watching this one, I don't know, it'll probably be a couple days from when I'm recording, but there it is. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.